Good things really do come to an end. And officially, this will be the last video of my 30 days, 30 Ballon d'Or nominees challenge, and I can say this confidently. We did it, guys. 30 days, 30 Ballon d'Or nominees challenge completed successfully. This series was so fruitful for me as a football fan because I got to know about the players more than I ever did by looking at their stats, their profiles and everything else, and also as a YouTuber, because by this series I almost got around 3,000 views, which was my goal at the start. So we almost came close to that, and I gained 20 subscribers. This video is the last one, so yep, please do consider subscribing as well. It will mean a lot to me. And the last video will be an absolute banger because we will be talking about one of the front runners of the Ballon d'Or award, according to many fans, especially the Barcelona fans, that have been giving him the shouts since the start of the nomination and everything else. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm obviously talking about Lamine Yamal, the breakout talent from Barcelona that has took the footballing world by storm due to his amazing ability to be the best, and that's the most I could say. Alright, Lamine Yamal, what a winger he is. He is a generational talent, and that is the reason many people draw comparisons to him from Messi and Neymar and all those Barcelona legends that were known for a similar kind of play style. Lamine Yamal has also said that his idol is Neymar, and we see traits of that in many of his plays, and that's the reason why he is considered one of the best players in the world right now. Coming to the most important factor when judging a player, his stats obviously. Lamine Yamal has had an absolutely great season, winning 3 trophies and putting up great numbers in all competitions as well. 21 goals and 22 assists in 62 matches is not at all bad, considering that he played 5,209 minutes in all competitions. Almost, I think. Alright, 43 GA for a 17-year-old. He was 17 last season. I think for the entirety of the last season he was 17. That is very good considering his age. But it doesn't seem that much big because he is a player that we know is a future Ballon d'Or winner for sure. But the question arises that is this season the correct one to hand him the award? I'm not gonna lie, 43 GA is itself enough to get you into Ballon d'Or territory, as Vinicius Jr., last year's runner-up, had almost, I think, 36 GA or almost 40 GA, and he got second. So Lamine Yamal, no surprise. But last season there was no one with better stats and big game performances than Vinicius Jr., and that's the reason why he finished so high. But this year there are the likes of Rafinha, Mohamed Salah, and you could say even Mbappe, because he was there stepping up into big games when he was on song, but the other Real Madrid teammates weren't really doing that much, and that's the reason Madrid failed as a team, I guess. But I hope things are different this season, but that's not the topic of this video. What I mean to say is that this season Yamal is facing a lot of competition when it comes to the goal contributions, and that might be a reason why his Ballon d'Or chances might be a little hurt, because the top runner, according to most of the people on the internet, Ousmane Dembele, has an absolutely amazing season, both by winning trophies and scoring tons of goals, and scoring them when his team needs him the most. Lamine Yamal has only scored 9 goals in La Liga, which is a little underwhelming, considering that is even less than the like of Vinicius Jr., who scores 11 but the people are saying that he had an absolutely atrocious season, and I'm saying that in a negative way. But Lamine Yamal having under 10 goals in the league, especially, it's if we look at this fact from outside, you would just think that he is an overrated player. But the thing is, when you have to judge a player like Lamine Yamal, you can't just judge him on the basis of his goal contributions. Now, he has 0.28 goals per 90 in La Liga, 0.41 assists per 90 in La Liga, and 0.69 GA per 90 in La Liga. His season-long XG was 13.5, which he was able to underperform because he scored only 9 goals, and he scored a goal every 318 minutes he played. It took a total of 95 shots, out of which 46 were on target, and he scored a goal every 10.56 shots he took, which is, to be honest, not that much impressive. He has to be more decisive. But this season's, and I mean 25-26's Lamine Yamal has been more clinical in my opinion. He has that hunger for goals that he did not have last season, and this just makes him even more dangerous. Alright, his season-long XA was 12.92, and he registered 13 assists in La Liga, and he had 1,082 out of 1,369 passes on target, and his passing accuracy was 79.04%. He created 64 chances, which is a lot, obviously, and he registered an assist every 222 minutes he played. Now, let's come to the stat that got most of the people excited about Lamine Yamal and made them give him a fair shout on the Ballon d'Or. He attempted 265 dribbles, which is in itself a lot, even if he was able to convert almost half of them, and he completed 139 of his attempted dribbles. 139. That is a lot. This means that he is a top, confident and amazing player who isn't afraid to go into those 1v1s, 2v1s, and most of the times gets on top of the defender. And his dribbling accuracy is 52.45. Now, he got involved in 465 ground duels, which also again shows his hunger to get the ball back from the opposition when he loses it. And he won 242 of these ground duels, which is most by any, I think it's most or second most by any player in La Liga. Damn. A winger who is very hungry to get the ball back, a winger who is very hungry to, register assists, create chances, a winger who is very hungry to dribble and get into those 2v1s and 1v1s. This is a proper generational winger we are talking about. He might be the one who brings back the old flair the football had in the 2000s or 2010, you could say, which it was kind of losing in the Pep tactics era, because obviously that includes only just passing, direct football and all that. But now football might be truly back, and Lamine Yamal breaking onto the big stage has also given many young talents the confidence to do the same. Max Tauman is an example, and Rio and Gamoa. These both are also getting their name frame on their fan bases' hearts. Alright, coming to his key performances, he scored 2 goals versus Girona, and I think this was the 3rd or the 4th match day of the La Liga season start. So yeah, after this match, I remember, I'm a Madrid fan if you don't know, I was very scared for us, because I knew that if Lamine Yamal is on form this season, we might be cooked, and that is exactly what happened. And versus Bayern Munich, he registered an assist, completed 6 dribbles, and mind you, Bayern Munich isn't a small team either, and won 10 duels. Versus Atalanta, he registered a goal, 5 dribbles, and 11 duels won. Versus Las Palmas, He registered an assist, 9 dribbles, and 13 duels won. Versus Real Madrid, their arch nemesis, of course. In all competitions, he played a total of 4 El Clasicos, in which he had a GA of 5, including 3 goals and 2 assists in all competitions against Real Madrid. He scored 2 goals versus France in the UEFA Nations League semi-final that booked them a spot in the final against Portugal, which they unfortunately lost. And in that match, Lamine Yamal really didn't have that much of a great performance, because the one man assigned to mark him was Nuno Mendes, and we all know what happens to right wingers when Nuno Mendes is against them. Alright, now the most brilliant performance of Lamine Yamal, although he didn't even register an assist or a goal. His team lost out on getting into the Champions League final. It was against Inter Milan in the second leg. This man, although he didn't score, although his team didn't win, although he didn't even register an assist, had 14 dribbles in a single match, 23 duels won in a single match, and 13 duels lost, and he was fouled 7 times, which just shows Inter Milan defenders, desperation or frustration that they were, getting it out on Lamine Yamal. That's the reason he was fouled 7 times. This performance just shows that Lamine Yamal was the only one, that was desperate enough to get Barcelona over the line. But obviously, one man can't win you an entire tournament, and let alone a match. But we also know why. There are other examples of it. Mbappe versus Argentina, Mbappe versus Barcelona. This man already has that kind of curse. But Lamine Yamal, hats off, man, for a 17-year-old to pull that off. And I know people after the Champions League final were giving Desiree Doué shouts over Lamine Yamal. They were saying that Desiree Doué is better than Lamine Yamal, and I'm not gonna lie, I was also one of them. But when you look at both the players individually and their profiles, or you could say one is the left winger, one is the right winger, but Lamine Yamal is so miles ahead of any other youngster, you could say, or any other player on this planet. And just to be, safe, I'm not Fabrizio Romano, obviously, and I'm not like him because he is very famous and I'm not. Please subscribe. Alright, 3 trophies won. These kind of stats and these kind of key performances are enough to get you a Ballon D'Or shout. I am not despising any kind of shouts that Lamine Yamal is getting of the Ballon D'Or, but I think that due to the impact that a player is able to create for a team to win multiple titles, I think that above Lamine Yamal, that kind of impact was made by Rafinha. He was there registering the assists, he was there scoring the goals when Barcelona needed him the most. And I feel a little sad by seeing that Barcelona fans are completely ignoring not only Barcelona fans, but also the Barcelona players. Take for example Pedri, take for example Dani Olmo and all those, and even Jules Koundé. These players are giving a also deserving Ballon d'Or nominee bigger and greater shouts over a more deserving Ballon d'Or nominee, Rafinha. They're not even considering Rafinha in the top 3, and that's just sad to see. I guess the system really is against Brazilians, and if Rafinha finishes out of the top 10, it would be an absolute disgrace. But I want to be, surprised if Lamine Yamal finishes top 3, because he at least deserves a top 3, I think. Now, for the final question. Is he a deserved Ballon d'Or nominee or not? In my opinion, he is not, obviously. Because although he had the impact of a experienced player, his team really wasn't able to go that far in almost every competition. They played in 4 competitions, and won 3 of them. That's reasonable, but the kind of season that PSG had, 5 trophies by now and could possibly be a sextuple if they win the Intercontinental Cup. And if they had won the Club World Cup, they would have already completed the sextuple. But yeah, PSG had a much better season than Barcelona, and we all have to agree on that. And that's the reason why a player from PSG should be the top contender of the Ballon d'Or, and a player from PSG that stepped in big matches and led PSG to winning most of the trophies is Ousmane Dembele, and that's the reason I am putting him number 1 in my Ballon d'Or rankings. Lamine Yamal might come close in the voting because of the humongous amount of PR he has been getting on the internet, but I think he will fall short of the Ballon d'Or number 1 position. But him finishing 3rd doesn't mean that he will not win the Ballon d'Or ever again. It is almost confirmed to all of us that this man is destined to win not 1, not 2, multiple Ballon d'Ors because of his talent, and I hope he continues to flourish and doesn't end up like Ansu Fati, because we need players like him to bring the flair back into the game. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for a successful 30 Ballon d'Or nominees challenge series, and I'll see you guys next year. Adios.